Hello, this is Taylor Malpass of the Malpass Brothers coming to you live with Blue Collar America from the Malpass Brothers Tour Bus. Tonight, we have two very special guests that we're going to be interviewing, a preacher man and the First Lady. If you will, introduce yourselves.
I'm Steve Nance.
Tenna Nance.
And so where are you guys from?
Beautiful downtown Groesbeck, Texas for 6 more days.
Is that where you were born and raised?
Oh no, born and raised in Midland, Texas, out in West Texas. Our farm area is around, is a town called Desdemona, about 100 people, depending on who dies on any given day. And small town, ranching, oil and gas kind of stuff.
Now, would you find it interesting that Midland, Texas is not in the middle of Texas?
It's midway between Fort Worth and El Paso.
Interesting. So you would think with a name like Midland, it would be very in the middle. So what's it like being married to a preacher pretty much your whole life?
Well, in 11 days, I can say it's going to be wonderful.
Now, what did you do before you were called into the ministry?
Oh, you're going to like this one. I have been an aluminum welder, and when I was called into ministry, I was a horse production major at Tarleton State University. I was going to be a horse breeder, a stud manager. In either Oklahoma, hopefully Oklahoma Stud, someplace like that. In my senior year in college, that's when I heard the call to preach. And me and God had an argument along the way, and I sold tires for Allstate. I sold tires for Goodyear, and I sold insurance for Allstate, and did some more welding. And then God and I finally got on better terms, and I came back into the ministry and been there for 30 years.
You know, I've always thought it would be cool to be in the horse business like that, but then I chose to be a musician, and now I'm doing news anchor.
Well, you're still working with horses.
Mostly donkeys. Mostly donkeys in the band.
We won't say which end.
So you say you're retiring in just a few days. Now, where are you guys going after that?
Hopping into a motorhome. We've sold pretty well everything out of the house. Hopping into our motorhome and heading for South Padre for about 3 months, and then we don't know where after that.
Have you thought about North Carolina?
Tenna wants to head immediately there. She's going to go wherever you guys are.
Come on, we would love to have you.
I know a small town that I live in that could use some good people because it's full of people that aren't that good. I would love to have you there.
The diesel, we'll get there.
All right. So you being a preacher, I don't know, you're a Methodist preacher actually, and I didn't know if you know this, but our granddaddy was a Methodist preacher for 60 years, and our great-granddaddy and our great-uncle, and it was full of preachers and teachers in our family.
That's why you're wild now.
That's why he's so wild.
That's a wild and crazy guy.
I know.
Yeah, one of our granddaddies was a Methodist preacher, and the other one ran a store and a bar. I ran a bar pretty much. So, Christopher actually wrote a song one time about them called Sinners and Saints.
Oh, that's why.
But they were both dealing with the same people.
My brother was a psychologist in New York at Bellevue Hospital, and he left that, we won't go into why, and moved across the country and became a bartender. And he said, I can do the same work and the same good for people, except it's not near as confusing.
That's very true. You can, and even in a bar like that, you can touch people in a different way. And there was our granddaddy, although he didn't drink, he did run a bar, and there's a lot of people that he changed their life just being who he was. So, anyway, Chris, have you got any questions?
Well, I just want to tell a little bit. These folks, we met them through the music business, and they were at several of our concerts, and they have hosted us twice now in Groesbeck, Texas. And they're not even professional promoters, and they're the best that I've worked for. They look after us, like family, and we really feel like they're family now. We had a really hard couple of weeks here with things going wrong, and their date was the first one in Texas and the most needed one because it was a big lift spiritually and mentally. So we just love you guys, and we wish you luck on your retirement. And no.
I will tell you while you're passing the microphone back, this lady right here comes from a very musical family. I'll let you jump in.
Well, my aunt passed away at 86 years old and played steel guitar.
Oh, wow.
And rhythm. And until the day she died, she had 15 musicians in her living room every Thursday night for a jam session. She started out playing with Johnny Gimbel when he was stationed at North Fort Hood. So I grew up in a very musical family, this kind of music. So it's in my soul.
That's very rare for a female to play steel guitar.
She
That's
played
something you
steel
don't
guitar.
see a lot, and that is great.
You know, we're we're on Barbara Mandrell's bus, which is our bus now. And if she wants it back, she can call us. But she was actually a steel player too, you know, so that's really neat. We're also into vintage clothes, for those of you who didn't know that. And you were telling me about your jacket earlier. How long have you had that?
Oh, my goodness. I had this when trying to get things in the motorhome. There's not a lot of room. So I thought, well, I'll put this on. I haven't worn it in years. And I looked at Steve today. I was trying to sell it for $25.
Oh, wow.
I had a couple of people that wanted me to mail it, and I said, no, I'm not going to ship it. So today I said, get the tag out of this and see what this jacket's worth. I know it's at least 45 years old. And let's see, the one on Etsy today was $375.
Wow.
So I believe I'll keep it.
I don't blame you. And might I say, you look stunning in it. You outdid
whole
yourself.
thing is-
You outdid yourself, Steve.
Yes, I did. Married way above my head.
above,
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming in and doing a little interview.
guys. We love your music.
Every one of these guys on this bus. I mean, we consider you guys family.
Yeah,
I
no
mean,
doubt.
we don't have a lot of family, and I've kind of adopted you, whether you like it or
Well,
not. So
we don't have a lot either, and we feel the same way about y'all. We feel like we've adopted you, and just because you're retiring doesn't mean you're gonna get out of seeing us.
No,
Which
we
is
Oh,
nice.
we can follow you around
That's
now.
right.
Yeah, now you can just tag on with us on your bus.
If we win the lottery, and this should be true with every one of your fans, if we win the lottery, we're buying you a new
we
bus.
never
Oh,
play. We
nice.
can't.
But we never buy a ticket, so that
Yeah,
may be a
maybe.
problem. But
I need the 20 worse than the money I might win.
Yes, exactly.
we're thinking Prevost. But
Yeah.
you know, it,
Well, thank you.
Well, we appreciate it. And again, we appreciate y'all coming. This is Taylor Malpass with another episode of Blue Collar America, live from the Malpass Brothers Tour Bus. Good night, America.